I feel like I shouldn't just be standing here doing nothing. I'm testing. That green screen wasn't working. So, oh look, you left because I was frozen. So this is what I'll call the pregame show. I will be officially going live in a few weeks, answering questions. But since I have not been live on YouTube in a while, I am testing the waters, making sure that it is the same since the last time I've been live on YouTube, which was like 2 years ago. Shoot, that was a long time ago. But if you don't know me, my name is Aziza Kibibi, and I am a mom, author, activist, chef, entrepreneur, and survivor. I'm also, which very few people know, well, no, I won't get into that because I don't know. YouTube and their requirements and things that you can talk about is not, sometimes it's all over the place and I'm not really clear. So, but I do something else in another space in the city of East Orange, dealing with a plant that you can smoke. I am the board chair. I'm sure, you can put that together. But I just wanted to see how this works now. Update. Let's see. Update for me, working on the audiobook of Unashamed, Alive, Tainted. If you have not read it, go do that. Go do that. It's available on Amazon, but I'm working on the audiobook that hopefully, if all goes well, I will be made available to the public this summer. So summer 2026. So look out for that. Things are moving right along with PLL, my organization, Precious Little Ladies Inc. Our mission is to end child sexual abuse, gender-based violence, and incestuous abuse by supporting survivors, teaching prevention in our communities, exposing predators, and we do a lot of workshops. We have a survivor support group. We're about to start those back up at the end of February, so stay tuned for that as well. If you or somebody that you know are interested in joining a support group, a survivor support group, CSA, survivor support, or DV, we deal with any form of childhood trauma, sexual trauma, domestic violence, but it is really helpful for the healing process to come together as a community so you feel less alone. So starting those back up virtually by the end of February. We're looking at Saturday mornings. You can find more information on that either on my social media, PLL's social media, or PLL's website, which is preciouslittleladies.org. Yes, preciouslittleladies.org. But I'm going to do my official question and answer at a later date because I do have a list of questions that people have just reached out. I did a call for questions for me to do the live stream so I can answer them live. But this is like the pregame show. So, things that are going on, other things that are going on. Listen, top of the news, of course, the Epstein files being released, not fully released, but some of the images that I have been seeing other creators post on social media is heartbreaking, nerve-wracking, nauseating, extremely, well, I can't even say disappointing because I am not surprised. And belly honey, yes, I am, even though, and that was my next thing, and brings back memories of my own experience with my father. And there are some things that, yes, other things that he did, different activities that I don't speak publicly about. I don't even think I wrote about it in my book because he was deranged. He was deranged. Those people, like Epstein file people, those were his people, and all of that stuff is so very familiar. So I have not read the files myself. I'm getting updates from other creators that I follow. I am not surprised. I posted something recently on my YouTube speaking about why I am not reading the files, because I don't need the files to validate the survivors' testimonies. And yes, while it does expose and bring attention to and highlight those who are committing these atrocities, honestly, I live based on a basic assumption that people who have the power over other people will exploit that power as much as they can. So some might think that that is a trauma response. Maybe it is. But for those who do not know the evil that people are capable of doing, if you've not been there, thank God you've not been there. Thank God you've not been there. But it would be shocking to you. It would be shocking to you. For me, and I'm sure other people who have been on the receiving end of that type of exploitation, it's not shocking to them as well. Either. It's not shocking to them either. So yes, Belle, honey, yes, I am taking care of myself. I mean, I still have to deal with the memories and things that I went through personally with my father. So I have those protective measures in place. But as far as weighing out, trying to balance my daily routine and everything else I have to do, it's not necessary for me to read the Epstein files. I get the highlights. I do get the highlights. But some of them, like seeing those young girls, is very disturbing. So, yeah. So that's it. But for anybody who is here, I am about to log off. I've been on 8 minutes and 12 seconds. It seems like everything is working well. If anyone has any questions now, please ask. How are your kids dealing with this? Is this triggering for them too, or do they have have they emotionally distanced from it? Are you referring to my experiences, or are you referring to the Epstein files? Belly Honey. How do you pronounce your name? Belly Honey? Belly Honey? If you're talking about the Epstein files, I don't know. Arish, how are you dealing with it? My daughter's to my right. My oldest daughter.
I don't even know. I saw this shit coming. I'm just waiting for the revolution to happen.
Okay, so y'all heard her, right? She's waiting for the revolution. They do say it is darkest before the dawn, right? So, but emotionally, is it like emotionally triggering for you?
No, because I kind of think about this stuff every day anyway.
She's had her mother to live with. So yeah, she's pretty aware of this stuff, especially doing the work that we do with PLL, hearing the stories. So okay, yeah, so in terms of the files, yeah, she's a part-time conspiracy theorist, though that's clearly the only conspiracy, right? Epstein files and those involved are not conspiracy in the traditional sense of like people creating some kind of outlandish story. Really, it's them people committing the conspiracy, trying to get everyone to not believe or not recognize that they are involved in these sick behavior.
And I looked up like the foundation of even the word conspiracy, and how conspiracy is just something that someone accuses, usually someone with power or the government, of having secret plans of some form of corruption. And in response to that, the people that were being accused of the conspiracy then called it oh, this is
A conspiracy. Yeah. So a diversion from knowing that the truth is out there. Yeah. It's a complete step.
Did he ate?
Maxwell Brisk 5622. Do you believe? I think there's food in his bowl still. Is there water?
Fed him. He wasn't
Do you
around,
believe
you
any
know,
of this going on? What do you mean, Maxwell?
Come on.
I'm going to make a recommendation, right? Now, I believe that art imitates life. And a lot of films that we see that are not declared to be based on a true story really are. For instance, Blink Twice. I think Zoe Kravitz either heard something, witnessed something, and she was just putting it out there. Like, look, this is the shit that is really going on. There's also a Stephen King show called Dr. Sleep. I highly recommend it. It should be available on HBO Max, but it's about The Shining, and for those of you who have seen the Stephen King Shining films, you know that The Shining is an ability that people have to contact other dimensions, slip through universes, dimensions, see spirits, things like that. So in Dr. Sleep, there is a little girl who has The Shining, who is able to witness a slew of SA murders of children. And when they go into the detail of why these people are doing what they're doing to these children, listen, you know, you get it. You really get it. I do think that it's beyond just some kind of weird sexual desire. I think it's beyond that. At the end of the day, we as humans, we emit certain energies. I think that those who are energy vampires are drawn to the innocence of children, and they feed off of it and they exploit it. So I recommend I highly recommend you watch that show, and it really kind of gives perspective, albeit not maybe a popular perspective, but a very interesting perspective to how people who exploit women and children can benefit off of the energy from it. So Maxwell Brisk, in the context of the discussion, I have to see what you asked. Do you believe any of this going on? Oh, so do you mean believe like flabbergasted? Yes, I believe it's going on. I already knew it was going on. Who remembers Pinocchio? I saw Pinocchio when I was young. And it's interesting that in Pinocchio, the children were being stolen and turned into donkeys, right? And what are donkeys? Workhorses. And taken to Pleasure Island. That's what Epstein Island was called, wasn't it? What was it called, Pleasure Island? I think I heard people referring it to Pleasure Island, or that might be my own mind making the connection. But the parallelism was crazy. Like, you take these kids, in Pinocchio, they were taking these kids to this island, showing them a good time, having fun, and eventually turning them into donkeys and using them. So I just think it's crazy, like some of the parallels and things that we consider are fiction. Bell Honey, did your father believe in ritualistic science too? And that was a part of why he did what he did, considering his links to industry as well. So he definitely believed in it. He read a lot about it. I mean, my father was very much interested in different forms of religion, spirituality, types of the, practices of the occult. He did get involved in some things, not, how can I explain this? He was more of a dabbler, right? He was more of a dabbler. But one time he did say that one of the reasons that he got up at night and decided to start abusing me is because a spirit told him to do it. So he definitely, and whether you want to say, well, that's just an excuse, him trying not to hold himself accountable, or it was part of his perspective of how things happened and what guided the things that he did. So he was not a part of any larger group. He was definitely an independent. Yes, we had been to certain places, like, okay, some organizations or spiritual practices that many people may see that I think pop culture and the media has tried to demonize, like the practice of Ifa, which is an African religion practiced by Yoruba people. And it was brought over through the transatlantic slave trade and kind of turned into two forms of religion, one being Santeria, the other one being Voodoo, right? The more commonly known as voodoo. So it's evil, it's dark, it's when that's really not the case. That's not the case. One religion that is more African, it's more of an Egyptian religion, is Kemet. My father was involved when I was way younger, though. I was way younger. This was before he started abusing me. He was involved in what's called the Asara Set Society. They are a group in New York, in Brooklyn, I believe, who practices Kemet, polygamy, and more of an African perspective or Egyptian perspective religious belief system. But aside from the polygamy, there has never been any discovery of child sexual abuse that was exposed or that I know of. My father took we traveled all the way to Virginia to witness the Shechem. The leader is called the Shechem HaShechem, and he was marrying one of his wives. We went to their wedding. We would go to the temple in New York, and when they would have different rituals, it was nothing more than dancing. Everybody would wear white. There was dancing, and of course there was lecturing and teaching. So no, that didn't play a role. I don't think it played a role in what my father decided to do to me and my sisters. So the show name, Bell Honey, it's called Dr. Sleep. It's called Dr. Sleep. It's based off of a Stephen King book. And I think Stephen King, I don't know if he is a survivor himself or he is just very tapped into the exploitation of children, because I find a lot of his stories and why I am drawn to his stories, even with it, right? And the fear of children and just exploiting them and exploiting their innocence. Like, I felt like in very subtle ways, he always focused on that. His victims are usually children, as in with Dr. Sleep. So, he is aware or trying to bring attention to something himself, I truly believe. How old were you when your father essayed you? I was 8 years old the first time. Margot Watt, hello, sending positive vibes, and you're all. Well, thank you, and thank you. K more than 3. How did you feel about anger? Do you struggle with anger in your situation? How did you release anger? If so, did it take a long time? So my experience with anger, the last time like that real, seeing these Epstein pictures now have definitely had me revisiting some rage. But pertaining to my own situation, I think I got and was and stayed so angry, like angry enough for pretty much my entire life when I was younger. I really did have so much anger and sadness, and it would change. It would go back and forth. No, I had no way to really cope with it. Sometimes it was just about laying in bed crying. And other than that, trying to distract myself and sleep. I was addicted to sleep, so I know that I was depressed. That combined with the fact that I wasn't getting much sleep, but I loved sleep because it was an escape. So then as I got older, especially by the time I got pregnant, anger wasn't serving me. And I'm sure anger can be used. Like, I know anger can be used as a motivator, but I didn't know how to use it as a motivator. Anything that I felt like, even the time when I did try to run away. I was angry. I was frustrated, but looking at myself, like in hindsight, after my siblings caught me and stopped me from running away, I was disappointed in myself that I allowed the anger to cloud my ability to think about the fact that, well, Aziza, if you leave, what's going to happen to your brothers and sisters? So that was something that I, from a young age, started to let go of. And even not relating to what my father did to me. But there was this one time, my brother and I, we got into an argument, and he called me ugly, and I picked up a battery and threw it at his head, and it caused this big cocoa. Like, he fell out, and cocoa on his head, and I felt so bad. Like, I felt so bad that I got so angry at him that it drove me to attack him in that way, and I did not like that feeling at all. So I think those incidents helped to tame my anger. I mean, I'm a Virgo, like Virgo, like Vulcans, like our ruling planet is actually Vulcan, but they can't find it anymore or something. And I think that Spock and the whole Vulcan race in Star Trek, I'm a Trekkie, y'all, if y'all didn't know, really encapsulates the Virgo with having the control over the emotions. It's not that I don't feel the emotions. I feel them probably more intensely than many other people, but I have learned to control them because I realize that they can be kind of destructive. So, yeah. What? Okay, Arish, who is an Aries, she wants to share as well. What, you want to answer the question? Do you struggle with anger? Well, let me finish answering because it was two parts. So how did you release the anger? So now meditation helped me to control and release a lot of different emotions, not just anger, sadness, frustration, all of that, and just helps me to find calm within myself. So if you want to know a how, that's one, music, dancing, redirecting that energy. That's 2, 3, any form of creative outlet. That really helps. I find that when I get closer to anger, that's when I write poetry. Like when I'm just like get pissed at something, I write poetry, and it really helps. It really helps get out that emotion and that energy. Okay, take it away, Arish. She's not gonna come on camera, y'all. So I hope y'all can hear her.
So I think of really horrible things.
You might have to come a little closer, just so it'll pick it up. Okay, go.
Really horrible things. I mean, I assume that them asking you how you deal with anger is pretty much how you deal with, like, knowing all the horrible stuff you went through or that you've seen or like, your family has gone through. So, I get intrusive thoughts, and a lot of the times, they are, like, horrible scenarios of things that I know Damien did. And when, like, I feel like my anger is boiling over, I just kill him in a really horrible way.
Oh, so that happens in my dreams.
Yeah, I always play out, like, if I play out, because I feel like I remember him naked more than anything else. If I have an intrusive thought of, like, him abusing you, then I just think about running in the room and putting, like, a gun up his butt.
I mean, that's not funny, but I am thinking of, I don't want YouTube to cut us off. That's my Aries, y'all. Yeah.
Very. And then I feel better.
Okay, so creative visualization. Adisha's all about creative visualization. I don't know. Somebody's asking a question. Someone's asking a question that just keeps saying this message is held for review. Okay, so hold on. Because I got quite a few comments. Let's see. I'm sorry that happened to you. I hope your father did jail time. He is still in jail now, Lorita Garza. He's still in prison now. He was convicted and sentenced to 90 years in prison. My lighting is disappearing, y'all. So soon I'm going to be out. Do you think AI coming out around the same time of the files is to cause confusion and disbelief about actual photos, videos that will be unredacted in the near future? That's interesting. That's an interesting thought. But no, I don't think so. I think the way the energies work, usually there's just, I feel like a lot of things tend to happen at the same time. Like a lot of culture shifts tends to happen at the same time. AI has created a culture shift, right? These files coming out has created a culture shift. Even me speaking out as much as I do has created a culture shift. Like, I could tell you when I first started speaking out, I got nothing but criticism. Nothing but criticism. Supporters like you, other people on my Instagram, people in life, that's recent. That's recent. That's over, like, especially at the amount that it is. Sure, when I was on Level Lives Here, people would reach out to me, but they wasn't sharing their stories, right? That's what I'm getting to. They were not sharing their stories. Where now, like in the last 2 years or so, more people are speaking out about what happened to them. And it just wasn't that way when I started speaking out. So I think that has even contributed to the survivors of the Epstein trafficking and exploitation. They have been empowered because it feels safer to now identify yourself as a survivor. And in other spaces like technology, that's going to happen as well. I just feel like in the history of humanity, of the human species, a lot of cultural shifts has happened at the same time. So no, I don't think that, does that mean that those who are responsible will not use it? Of course they will. Of course they will. But at the same time, you know, this is coming from the DOJ. It's the source. Anybody could go on the website, look at the files themselves, and it will be easily determined if someone else who may have posted something saying that it's from the files, it could be said that no, it's not. And God, there are another 3 million pages to be released. Like, wow. Let's see. Okay, let me look at these helpful reviews. I don't have a memory of being essay as a child, but I haven't been able to have an orgasm with my husband or with any man in the past. Okay. You be on my mind. So this is Loretta. So I have heard, so a symptom of, how can I put this? So when we look at symptoms of childhood trauma, it's usually not only one thing. It has to be combined with other things to then draw the conclusion that this may be the cause of it, right? So yes, I understand not being able to climax with your husband or any man. While that can be a symptom of childhood trauma, it actually can be a symptom of other things. Because the fact is, only 82% of women do not reach climax with a man. 82%, like, that's serious. That's a serious number. So I think, Loretta, the best thing for you to do is it would not be only the inability of reaching climax. It would be how you feel when you're getting to that moment. Like that would be a marker if maybe there is something that happened to you that you're suppressing. And even then, it may not necessarily be childhood trauma. It could be another type of negative experience associated with sex and sexuality and reaching climax. I mean, shoot, pressure alone will prevent you from climaxing with a man. So I think that that's something worth exploring because, you know, you deserve to enjoy all of the pleasures that your body has to offer. So definitely look into that. I don't know if, are you speaking to a therapist? Explore that. Explore that. But just to let you know that it usually has to be a combination of things, and there are definitely women out there in your same position who have not had any type of adverse childhood trauma or sexual trauma or, you know, any form of gender-based violence experiences. So I hope you work it out. I'm cheering you on. I feel like that voice is actually your conscience and not an actual person in the room. That's my daughter, my oldest daughter. True Aries energy. Yes, definitely. No, she was just saying that, well, Max, he or she, I'm not sure, was saying that when you talk, they feel like that your voice is my conscience. I guess between that and me looking at the camera, right? Yeah, not an actual another person.
But no, but what did I say before? Remember when I was saying your thoughts out loud?
Oh yeah. Yeah, she actually has done that before. So we're getting dark, y'all. K more than 3. I hope that helps. Okay, I'm glad. I'm glad. Thank you for letting me know. Yay, I'm so happy to hear he is in jail for what he did to you and your sister. Yes, that makes sense. You must feel so proud. You definitely saved some lives from speaking out. Well, thank you. You know, it was necessary. It definitely was necessary. Yeah, and I'm a guy. Okay. All right. Maxwell. Cool. So it's getting dark. And my phone is charging, so I can't even move to a more lighted area. I was using the window. Why do you feel essay between, hold on a second. Woman and boy is more tolerated and even sometimes celebrated as opposed to a man with a girl? Why is it a double standard? Because of the patriarchy. Basically, there are expectations put on men pertaining to their ability to be with a woman intimately, right? So it's celebrated if a younger guy gets with an older woman, and you know, it's like he's had you know, a new belt buckle, pretty much. Like he's earned his manhood, so to speak. And the fact that being exploited or abused and having your autonomy violated and your choice, right? Your ability to choose taken away is going to have the same effect on you no matter what your gender is. So it's going to be traumatic. But I do think our culture and our society, because it's so masculine facing, that it's dismissed. They completely ignore the negative impacts of a woman violating a young boy or a child, a male child. Because when it comes down to it, it really is about not doing something, doing something that you don't want to do, that you did not have a choice in, and being manipulated and exploited in that way, and being pressured into doing something that even if you enjoy it, let's just say, like, even if a child enjoys it, it doesn't matter. They are at the mercy of the person who is older, the person who is supposed to protect them, just because they are an adult. So That's not even why I believe. That is what it is. So I try to educate people as much as possible on how sexual exploitation is harmful to anybody, no matter what their sex is. Chawandra, Mother Aziza chat. That's what you want to call it. Where have you been? I know, right? Working.
I keep telling her
There goes my voice again.
A mother.
You have a way of making others feel so seen. Kamora, then 3. Well, thank you for letting me know. It means I am doing the right. You have confirmed that I am doing the right thing, that my heart is being guided correctly. So anyway, the sun is going down on us, y'all. Oh, we did 36 minutes. That was more than I planned to do. I want to go live more often. So I'm trying to get a schedule. I'm trying to get a schedule together so that it's just automatic for me, because I love communing and talking to you all. So, but I will be sharing probably in the community post the pre-scheduled and exact day that I'll just be on for a couple of hours answering all of the questions that people has asked me when I requested for them to ask me. All right. So on that note, everyone have a beautiful evening or morning or afternoon, wherever